Hello everyone. In our previous video, we understood how to create base class. So this is a structure of your base class. Now we will be creating POM package for all the POM classes for the pages on your project. So here we'll right click on SRC test Java, go to new, choose package. I'm naming it as POM package. Click on finish. In my POM package, I'll create a class. Name of the class is POM login. So I'm creating this POM for login page. No need to include this public static main method. So we'll click on finish. So this is my POM class for login page. Guys, what is POM? That means you will be creating all possible methods on all the elements of your page. So I'm creating it for my login page. So guys, this is my login page whose POM I wish to create. So I have three elements over here: username, password, login. This is also one of the link you have forgot your password. So 4 elements you can say is there. So I will right click on username to inspect this element, inspect, copy, and we can use CSS selector here. So first step is to inspect elements over here, and that I'll show you how we use it in POM class. So first of all, in your POM class, you will be creating object repository. So we'll create object repository. That means I will be first writing all the elements which we have on login page with its element locator and value. How you create it? This is the annotation we write @find by. @find by, in brackets, you will be writing element locator's value, which I just picked. I picked CSS selector. So I can write on CSS selector, and the value is, this is the value I picked from there. And then you will write web element user name. I'll explain this to you. First of all, let's import this. So import find by, import web element, and now CSS selector. So we will be changing it to, let me just check what is the right way of writing it. So we will be writing CSS here, CSS selector. Again, we'll put our cursor. So change it to CSS. So this is how we will write it. CSS is for CSS selector. And this is the value for my CSS selector for username. Now what we did here, @find by annotation is a replacement of this. Driver dot find element by dot. So what is the complete line? If we want to write by dot CSS selector, this and then the value. So here, if you look at this section here, driver dot find element by dot, till here it is Selenium WebDriver command, and that's why they kept it in @find by. So when you write @find by, till here it is completed. So that means I've written driver dot find element by dot. After that, we wrote CSS selector, which is my element locator, is equal to, this is the value of my CSS selector for username field. I'm storing this complete thing in a web element called username. You can give any name here. This is my variable name. So I say, okay, this is a web element and I want to keep name of this web element as username. Why we are doing this? Guys, because in this entire code, only this section can change if there will be any change of requirement. If developer change the code, your element locator and its value can change maximum. This code will not change. Change of requirement not going to affect this code. It's just going to affect this code. That's why values which are subjected to change, I'm keeping it in a variable called username. Instead of using it directly into the classes, I'm keeping it in my POM class. And let's say in future, if developer changes something, I have to just come here and change it. You will better understand once we implement it. So I created this for my username. Now we will be creating for another element. Find by. Let's see it on the website. So now we will be checking it for password. Inspect. See here, we are getting ID as txt password. So I will pick this, copy. And here I can write ID as Control V, web element password. Next is login button. So let's see that also. Here, you will right click on it, inspect. For login also, I'm getting this ID. So Control C. And in my code, I'm writing @ find by ID is this, and then I'm keeping it in web element, and you can give any name to it. So I'm giving login btn, that is login button. So here I have stored all the elements from my login page and kept it at one repository, at one centralized location. In my next step, we're gonna initiate page elements. So now we're gonna initiate page elements. How to do that? Here I have stored the page elements. Now I will be initiating those page elements. In order to do so, first you will be creating constructor of this class. So public POM. As you know, constructor name and new class name should be same. So I'm just keeping it same. And then here, start the braces here. So here you will be writing page factory dot. Guys, we are initializing these elements so that whenever this constructor is called, it should talk to this and this element should be initialized. Let's just write it and then we'll understand meaning of it completely. So init elements, that means initialize elements, and we will choose this one, WebDriver object page. Here we write the driver, and here you're gonna write this keyword. Let's understand meaning of this. First of all, look at this. This driver is giving you error. Why? Because driver is not declared anywhere in this class. But if you see your base class, drivers are declared here. Here it is declared that what is driver, and it is public static. That means I can use it in any class, but I need to make this class as parent of the calling class. So POM class will call it. So I need to make this POM class as child of my base class. So I will write extends base HR. Let me read the name completely. HRM class. So HRM, we need to import it because it is coming from base package. So import this class. Now, see, this driver is not giving you any error anymore. Now I can use this driver reference variable anywhere. Now, what is the meaning of this line over here? So init element is a static method in page factory. Using initialize element, using init elements, we can initialize all the web elements located at find by. So all the elements which are there in @find by can be initialized by using this line here. So init element is a static method which is used to initialize all the elements specified by @find by annotations. So these all elements will be initialized with the help of this. Otherwise, you cannot access them. If you have not written this line over here, you cannot access them. And now you know the driver is coming from your base class because you extended it. I have not declared driver anywhere in this. I'm using it from the base class. And here I'm using this keyword. So this keyword, as we know, it's going to convert my local into global. So value will be passed to this driver, and accordingly, it's going to interact with my elements. So this is the syntax of your page factory.init elements. After this, now we can simply start writing the methods, all the possible methods or actions we can perform on this page. So first of all, we will write public void type username. This is my method name. And here I can now write down the command. Guys, if you want to type anything in a particular field, what you write? We write driver.find element by dot its element locator dot send keys. And then we pass the value we want to pass, right? Now I'm creating method for the same. Now driver, this line, driver dot find element by dot, let's say css selector, and here I want to pass some value. I'm just randomly passing anything. This is not the code. I just want to show you something here. So we write dot send keys. Whatever you want to pass, you can write it here in inverted quotes, right? So this is my code if I want to type something. Now, this line till here is actually stored in this variable called username. Look at this. At the rate find by is replacement of driver.find element by dot, right? And then I wrote CSS assign the value. So this is the value I have. So I'll just make it more clearer to you. So let's say this is the value I have here. This is my CSS selector value for username. So till here, my code is already stored in username. Instead of using this hard-coded value, which is subjected to change, I can write user, I can simply write username dot. See, this username dot send keys. So I can simply write username dot send keys. Now send keys, value which I want to pass. So here I will be writing that value. So I will be passing some string. So I will write string name. This is the parameter of this particular method. And I want to pass this parameter here. So whenever somebody wants to pass something in username, they could pass anything which is string. So this is my method to type username. Now, second method is to type password. So I can write public void type password. Again, my password is also string. So I will write string parameter and just passing any name here. Let's see body of this method. Again, guys, for password, I have stored the complete definition in a variable called password. So instead of writing driver.find element by .id, I can simply write password dot. See, I get all the methods here. So password dot, again, send keys. And here also, I want to pass this variable. Last is to click login button. So public void click button. So I'm not going to pass any data in it. So there is no parameter for this. And here also you can write down login btn, which is this variable here, dot, I want to perform action as click. So this is how we create POM for any particular page. What is the benefit of creating POM? Now you will understand that. If you remember, last time I've showed you this code over here. This is my test case to type something in Google search box and find its title. Now look at this. I have passed all hard-coded values over here. By.css selector, this dot send keys Roicians, right? As I've discussed many times, let's say this code over here changed. Now I have to go to all test cases where this code is changing. But what if I have created POM in which I've taken care of this code, this section, and I've stored it in a web element? Instead of using this code in the classes, I'm using web element, that too in a method. So if I want to perform this action, I want to send keys, I will be just calling that method which I've just created. I need not to write any code over here. I will just call that method. Let's say in future client changes or developer changes anything, my point of change gonna be just that class. My point of change will be only this class. I will come and change definition over here. And change will be reflected in all classes related to it. You need not to go manually to the classes and change it over there. So this is the benefit of creating POM, because you are creating centralized repository for your web elements for each page. Not only that, you're also creating all possible methods on it, so that instead of writing code, you can just call this method. This code is already body of this method. Let's see how we do it. So we created POM package for login. Now I will be creating test cases. So for that, you will be creating another package for test case package. So guys, we are creating a structure. Base class is already created. POM layer is also created. Now we are creating test layer. Let's create package for test layer. Right click on it, go to new package, test layer. Keep the first letter as lower. Finish. All packages, their first letter should be lower. Yeah, this is the naming convention they follow. Now I'll create class in it and login test cases. So I'm creating class for login. So login test. No need to include main method because you're going to create test ng class. Finish. And here, so guys, this is the test case class where you used to write all the code. Which code? Like driver.get URL, webdriver.gecko driver. Now we have already created all those things in my base class. This thing, I've already created everything in my base class. So this code over here, gecko driver, webdriver.gecko driver, minimize, maximize, getting the URL. I've created everything here under the method called initiation. I'm just going to just change its name to initiate, although it doesn't matter. You can name it anything. I just want to make it more meaningful. That's why I change it to initiate. So under initiate method, I've created all common properties. All the common properties is there in my initiate method. That means these are the steps I want to execute before every method. So first thing you need to do is you will be extending, making it child. You will make login test as child of base HRM class. Import this. All right. Now you can use all variables and methods of base class of parent class. So here, first thing you need to do is we will be creating constructor of this class. So public, name of my class is login test. And in this, I will be using constructor of my parent class. If you want to call constructor of the parent class, you know you will be writing super keyword. So super. Now what is written in the constructor of my parent class? Look at this. In my parent class constructor, I have this. I'm reading the file properties. I'm, catching all the exceptions. So this is there in my constructor of my parent class. Now, second thing I will be doing is I will be calling this method over here, right? Because this is my @before method. So I will be calling this over here, @before method, and followed by some method. So public void, let's say initial setup. just naming it as init setup. So here I will be calling initiate method like this. So first of all, this super keyword gonna read all properties of my config file, because in my super keyword I'm calling constructor, and in my parents constructor I have written read all the files from config.properties, right? So it's going to read everything from config.properties. Accordingly, my initiate method will work, because in my initiate method, I'm reading properties from config.properties file, like for the URL information, for browser information, I'm reading everything from here. So that's why this is very important to write both of these steps. First, it will initialize my config.properties, and then it will read all the data and pass it into the method over here. Now I will write my test cases. So @test public void valid username. So let's say I'm writing test case for valid username. Now what you're going to write here, driver.findElement? No, you have already specified it in POM. All the methods are already created in POM. You will be just calling them. And if you want to call method of any class, we know we need to create object for it. So here in this class, I will be creating object for this. So I can write down over here in before method, POM, that is name of my class. So POM login. Let's say I'm creating reference variable as log, assign new POM login, right? Let's import it. Okay. Now you can understand scope of this will be only in this method. So we should create it globally outside. So I'm just taking out this part and putting it on the top. Now I can remove it. That's all. Let's add one more method here. I will be writing one more method to verify the title of the page. So let's say this is my first test case. So let's say my first test case I want to write down is to verify title of the page. So I'm adding one more method here. Public string verify, because it is returning me string. When title will be returned, I'll get the string. And here I can write down add return statement. So it should return me driver dot get title. So I will also add this particular method in my POM to verify the title of the page. I want to get the title and see whether it is opening my page or not. So this should be your first test case. Mostly guys, this is our first test case to get the title, just to verify whether we are getting expected title or not. So here we'll go to login text. Till here we have already written. So my first test case I will be writing @test public void title. I can import this. And here I can call method now. So guys, if you want to call method for POM, so we have created object for POM login, globally declared it. And now I can use log variable, log reference variable to call all methods of my POM login. That is POM file for my login page. So here I can write log dot verify. So I want to do verify title. So verify is name of my method. I said verify. If you want, you can put assertions also here. So I can write assert dot assert equals, and I know title gonna come in string, so I will be choosing string here. So actual will be coming from log.verify, which I can store in a variable called actual. And here I can write actual as my variable. So actual, and here I can write my expected result. So guys, expected result is, so guys, my expected result is orange HRM. This should come. So I'm writing as expected result, orange HRM. So this is my expected result, and actual result will be fetched from here. So log is reference variable for my POM class. Dot verify is the method in which code is written to return me the title of this page. Whatever title will be returned, I'm storing it in a variable called actual. This I'm passing here, and this is my expected result. I will write at the rate after method, at the rate after method. I want to close the browser. Here I will create method public void close driver dot close here. Import this. Okay, so let's understand this class now. Here, first of all, I have created reference variable for my POM class. Here I'm calling constructor of my parent class. In this constructor, in my parent class, I have specified to read properties of config.properties file. After reading the properties of config file, I'm passing value here in my initiate method, in which mostly I'm calling values from config.properties file, that is URL's value, drivers, browser's value. So all I'm passing from here. Now, I've initiated that variable with object of POM login, and now I can call any method of POM login with the help of log. So as we know, the process of calling any method from any of the classes, creating its object, and then you can call any method with its reference variable. Here, I'm using first method is to find out the title of the page. So I'm writing log.verify. Log is my reference variable, dot verify is my method, and I'm storing value in actual, comparing them, and after this, I want to close the browser. So this is my test case. Look at this. I've not used any hard-coded value in test case. I'm referring everything from either base class or POM class. Let's execute it and see how it works. So we'll click on run here. So see, it opened the browser, type the URL here, and look at this. Your test case got executed. It passed because your assertion passed. If you want to see actual title also, you can simply write system dot out dot println, and here I can display actual title. So actual, in actual variable, my title is stored. I'm displaying it, then I'm comparing it. So I'll click on run, click on OK. So the browser is opening. That means my initiate method is working. It's taking the value. It opened Firefox. That means the value is being read from config.properties. That's why it opened Firefox. Then it used method from POM file and displayed me the result as expected. Guys, this is how framework works. We are not passing any hard-coded value in the test cases. Rather, we are taking it from either parent class, base class, or POMs or config.properties. So if you saw, we opened Firefox in this time. So it is Mozilla Runner. That means we opened Firefox. Now let's say client's requirement change, or you want to do cross-browser testing. You need to do only one thing. Now, let's say I want to execute test cases for on different browser, on Chrome browser. Earlier, I executed it on Firefox. Now, I want to do cross-browser testing and check it on Chrome browser. I need to just go here, change Firefox to Chrome. But make sure this crom case, everything should match to your base class crom, which you specified here. So they should exactly match because it is picking data from here. So simple. I'll just go to my config.properties, change browser information here, go to my test case, execute it, click on OK. Look at this now. It opened Chrome driver. This is my Chrome driver. See? There is no dependency on the browser. There is no dependency on the code, and you can perform A to Z everything. This is the benefit of creating frameworks. So initial setup is done, which is the hardest part of creating the framework. Now, next time if tester want to do anything, they have to just create test cases in test layer. Base is already created. We can keep on adding POMs according to the pages on the website. And then only thing you need to do is creating the test cases. We can keep on adding test cases as much as we want because we are not passing any hard-coded value. Dependency is not there on the test cases. Rather, we have decreased dependency. This is very easy to manage and very less efforts are required once the initial setup is done. So guys, that is why frameworks are very important. That's all for this video. Thanks for now.